Hello everyone and welcome to Quality Old Games. Today we are having episode 8 of Western Roman Empire campaign in Barbarian Invasion expansion. And the last episode ended into a stinging defeat in Colonia Agrippina. The AI commanded our army into a suicide attack against enemy general. So we have some recapturing to do. Fortunately, we are getting some reinforcements from Britain. And I guess we will leave that archer band behind. Or then we will take these mercenaries. They have quite low upkeep, so that will be enough for here. And maybe we can even actually send some of the cavalry out of the city. Okay, good. And Buracum needs to give some of its troops as well. And then maybe Londinium too. But it's imperative that we don't lose Augusta Trevororum here, as we need to face the Vandals, I think, pretty soon. So Rome most definitely could use some extra troops, and I think Tarentum as well. And let's make sure that Salona will be held with these reinforcements. Well, I'm not exactly sure that they will make the difference, but at least one can hope always for such things. And here against Tingi, there are two enemy family members. Some rather trash troops. So I think we will press with assault. And then I think we will use the kind of basic tactics, so archers to support, and then the ram to break through, and then infantry behind to enter the city when it's available or possible. And it seems we can actually do some damage with the archers. And I think the bodyguards will lead the assault as soon as the gates are opened. We will take care of those desert archers.
Soldiers have captured the walls. Now is the time to press
so
on
far so good. Let's bring in the infantry, the light cavalry, and the archers. And I think the strategy here, okay, it's a Christian city, excellent. It will make holding it somewhat easier. So I think we will position the cavalry about in this area, and then the missile units will support. So you guys can go around there. And you can act as vanguard, followed by the general. And then let's bring in the archers and the missile units. Actually, I think this is quite large, a city. And maybe you all can run a bit. Okay. Enemy is about to attack with peasants. Let's try to beat them back. And it seems Desert Chieftain might actually join the battle. That's makes things a bit more difficult. So let's withdraw. To make sure that we can actually flank the enemy. And they are attacking. So let's bring in the flanking force. And I think we will bring in the infantry as well. I'm not certain about this light cavalry. Likely they will panic and cause us some problems. But it seems one of the enemy chieftains is breaking. Excellent news. So practically we should have pretty nice numerical superiority against the main enemy general.
The enemy general is killed. Fear makes a home in our enemies' hearts.
And it's time to actually, I think, withdraw. A bit so that we can break the enemy units as they try to pursue us. And actually you archers are not supposed to go there to melee. And you Foderati infantries are a bit too eager as well. So I guess that's as good as it's going to get. You can come a bit back. The generals is too much in the middle of the fighting. Just try to get out. And I think you can stop shooting. And the city is ours. Excellent. And we should get some money to improve the defenses. Actually, we got quite a nice amount of money to improve the defenses. And I think we will build arena to improve public order and then make some peasants to keep the order up. And then let's get rid of at least some of the units inside the city if we can. So I guess you guys can start to scout the enemy positions, joined by this general And now we can do something about these situations here. I think we can build the port there. Avaricum is going to need some boost in public order. And Mediolanium. Unfortunately, there is the plague. And because of that, we cannot even train some units there. And I think Ravenna might benefit from a couple of cavalry units. From Plumpatari. And here we will need some more archers, and I think Salona will send reinforcements if the situation permits. And I think this was quite a decent mining town, so let's increase the mining capabilities there. Here I think we can send some more units to Carnuntum. And Augusta Vindelicorum should get some reinforcements as well. Vicus Alemanni, maybe some additional military units. And let's just hope that we are not getting broke this way. And it seems our fleet isn't in that good a shape. So I guess we were about to construct a port or shipwright, or I guess we did already. So a mine's there, or a mine. I guess Tarraco can increase taxes a bit. And maybe Salamantica as well. And soon we shall continue towards, hopefully, against the last Berber city, and Samaropriva, of course, will need some additional reinforcements. Okay. And it gets besieged, and we manage to misplace our ship. So no help will come that soon. And I guess we have a new governor here. And Vandals have besieged Salona. Okay, that's quite a large horde. 5.5 full stacks. Londinium needs to train by Ream. And then we need to get the reinforcements coming. And I'm afraid that Samaropriva will fall pretty soon. Maybe a quick assault against Colonia Agrippina could ease up the pressure a bit. And here, of course, we will need to lower taxes and make some new troops. And I guess barracks wouldn't go amiss either. And from Tingi, I think we will send out the cavalry troops already.
At your service. Moving. No more moves, sir. Orders, move out. Out of move, sir. Imperator, march. Merging armies. General.
And And maybe we will complement the army with mercenaries as a need arises. I think Carthage could benefit from Academy rather soon, and Karalis of course would need a shipwright when we have the money. And here it seems we are having some wonderful news. The plague has abated. So once again we can have some more taxes and hopefully trade as well. And it seems Lepsismango needs Governor's Palace pretty soon. Okay, let's hope that the last Berber city is rather large one and we can capture it pretty soon. So we can finish the turn here. And Saxons don't like that the city is being besieged. I don't think this our army can hold against these. So let's withdraw. But practically here we have to hold. And that's going to mean a manual battle. At least the terrain isn't that beneficial for us. So I guess these Limitane will form the front, supported by the archers, and the left flank will be guarded by this Limitane unit and these Foederati infantries, and the general will be kept as reserve to support the fight when a need arises. And let's actually see if our general could do some damage, because this archery unit, likely an archery unit, looks a bit lonely there, and those peasants won't save it. And it seems the enemy general is approaching us. Okay, the hunters are starting to rout, excellent. And then the enemy has Levi spearmen, which are throwing missiles pretty soon. And then I think we need to withdraw a bit, and let's see about the main battle here. I guess we need to send in everything against the enemy general, so we can take it down. And a hunter unit is charging us, hopefully we can take it down. And it seems our units here are starting to flee. At least some of our units are wavering already. Hopefully they won't break. The hunters are taking quite decent damage already, but I think it's time to withdraw with general. Oh, excellent. The enemy general is down. And the bodyguard is breaking. Excellent. And of course now our bodyguard is sitting duck here. And let's bring in our archers to help a bit. So, if our general manages to stay alive, I think we have won this battle.
The enemy show their true virtue. They are
Which
not
is the
soldiers,
case.
only frightened rabbits running from our men.
And of course, taking down as many hunters as possible would be very beneficial for us. Because they will likely retreat to the... What was the city name? We lost and we are trying to capture it. So taking them down here will make the battle easier. There. And wouldn't it be ironic if our own archers take down our general? Okay, excellent. So not that many enemy men left. And Colonia Agrippina actually isn't open for us. So Cordoba is growing. I think we need to patch it up with some peasants before actually trying to construct something. Because we have problems in Lepsis Manga already. And in Carthage. The city here is growing a bit too fast pace. And Mediolanum is having some problems as well. And it seems the Goths are just standing there. But I think finally we should be starting to get our reinforcements underway. So next turn. And let's see about our Africa Corps. Okay, Dimidi is here. Pretty well defended. But as we are having this many generals, I think we will prevail here. So we will strike against the enemy's left flank first. And let's try to make sure that no enemy gets away. The left flank is decimated. And it's time to catch the breath. And then I guess those Berber Axemen and actually the whole enemy army will be our next target. Oh, they are peasants in the front. Too bad for them. And then let's take care of the last enemy unit here.
Pursue them and drive.
Okay. This enemy army has been crushed.
Victory! Orders, forward. Moves depleted, sir. Orders, march. Out of move, sir.
And Dimity seems to be a Christian city as well. Good news. It's that much easier to keep up the public order. Saxon Keel and Levy Spearmen. I don't think that we will try to besiege with this general. We will wait some reinforcements from Britain before moving on. And I guess we have a turn on there, unless there is a pressing matter with some of our cities, so we need to pay attention to Massilia. And the Vandals are attacking. Let's see how Salona will hold.
Our enemies await. Units await my orders.
So they have one siege tower, and then they have the sapping point somewhere. 2 battering rams. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but no matter. It won't affect our defenses. So basically the enemy has 2 entry points. And we will place the comitatenses here to guard both of them. And let's try to position these Bucellari in such a way that they are able to hit the enemies as well as possible without putting them into actual danger. So I guess there are some decent corners here for them. Then the archer unit can be somewhere here in the middle to give fire support with the general, and the priests. Limitane, I guess, will be here as well. And then the peasants, let's use them to soak up the enemy charge. And in some guard duties. Okay, and let's see how the battle progresses. I'm actually wondering a bit, where is the enemy sapping point? Or is it here at all? Okay, the battering ram caught fire. Are these guys going there? No. What about the other side? So battering ram in fire here as well. Okay, there it is. Let's hope that the enemy doesn't want to use it. Because even if we manage to beat these armies completely, there will still be, I guess, 3.5 full enemy armies. 3 full enemy armies plus 1 half of an army to fight against. So let's hope that the towers ramp up the damage a bit, and that our troops manage to deal enough damage to the enemies here. Okay, additional seats, battering ram down, And a siege tower down as well. That's excellent, because now this army needs to circle around the whole city, and during that it will take, I think, pretty high casualties. So this far the battle seems to be progressing rather well, and as the enemy has only one siege tower at the wall, and there might actually be a bug here, but let's hope that that's not the case, because then we need to just wait for 40 minutes for the enemies to take casualties from the towers, looking at the Proconsul's palace, because this triple speed doesn't work pretty well in the original Rome. So because of that, I hope that the enemy siege tower isn't bugged. Okay, it's not. So the battle will continue rather soon, and if they capture this gate, it's actually quite good, because in order to enter the city square, they need to pass underneath quite a few towers, so even more casualties.
The walls are no longer ours. The enemy have taken them.
And now the whole enemy army is on the move, and I guess these guys are sappers, so let's hope that they get destroyed before they can reach the sapping point. Which is still some distance away. Additional bonus for against this army is that as they circle around the city, they will become quite tired. So they won't be able to put up much of a fight when they reach our army. So, some 14% of enemies down already. I guess there were some maybe 5,000 enemies altogether. So, 750 gone. These towers with 4 archery slits, or what these are called, these 4 here, are quite devastating for infantry marching under them. %, looking even better. Of course, I would like that these swordsmen will go down as well. Then again, if they manage to make a hole in the wall, the enemy won't likely be using siege equipment in the next battle, and that in turn will make the enemies push through the hole in the wall, and it's in such a place that I guess towers will be able to deal quite decent damage as the enemy is entering, so knocking down this wall section isn't a catastrophe for us, or if the enemy does knock it out. And the enemies are taking some casualties here as well. Unfortunately, these towers are not shooting as much as I would like, and are all of these actually enemy generals, so they have 5 family members in this battle. That's quite a lot. And as you can see, the ground is littered with enemy bodies here as they march underneath the towers. 1/3 of the enemy strength is gone. And finally these are starting to take casualties as well. Let's hope it's enough. If I had cavalry, I would be tempted to run them to these gates and then attack these units. But as I said before, it won't be a catastrophe if these two manage to knock out this wall section. But at least this tower is doing its best, it seems. And apparently they just went under the critical number required to use the sapping point there. And the ground is beginning to be littered with corpses here too. So far so good. And that's beginning to look like a horde. But based on these numbers, quite a beaten horde. Okay. Some arrows starting to fly. I guess from this direction. And there are not that many horsemen left in these units anymore. Okay, some are going down there as well. It's a two-sided thing whether it would be nice to have the enemy generals inside the settlement as well. The negative side is that they would boost the troops' morale, so they wouldn't break as easily. But the positive side is that we might be able to kill at least some of them. Okay, they are starting to move. And 45% of the enemies have gone down. And of course it's nice that it's this side's generals that need to circle around the city, because they might actually take some casualties before entering here. And the enemy troops are actually beginning to emerge. Let's move these guys a bit more forward so they can use their crossbows for full effect. And I think we need to control them in the case that they are shooting the wrong targets. It's so nice to admire how the towers are doing their job, but I think it's time to focus on the real battle here. So these horsemen won't last long. And they are fleeing already. And I guess we will put actually all of our infantry here in guard mode. The bad thing about Salona is that we cannot retrain the troops, excluding the peasants we have here. So we need to conserve our strength as much as possible, because we still have some tough fights ahead of us. At least the Sarmatians will still enter our area, and then eventually the Huns as well. And let's hope the crossbowmen here are up to their task. Okay, it seems there is no need. And the enemy has lost almost 2/3 of their strength. Looking promising. Of course, we still need to fight against the enemy generals. And they are entering the city right now. They seem to be quite well armored, actually. So if they perform at least as well as our own general's bodyguards, they will be very difficult to knock out. Okay, some additional missile cavalry units entering the fray. And the crossbows are just devastating here, it seems. At least to the enemy morale. And we have our first warlord entering. So I guess the crossbowmen here should prove their value rather well, since they should be able to punch through the enemy bodyguard's armor. And if they get to do flanking attacks, that should be quite a bit better still. So the enemy casualties are up to 70%. I think at this rate we will have quite a decent victory. Of course, I'm a bit concerned about these warlords, but we have our first test coming now. Let's see the other entrance, if there is some problems heading towards us. Apparently not. So, let's see how the crossbows will do. I guess those come from archers and now from the crossbows. Okay. They are doing well enough. And now the cavalry is in fight against the comitatenses. So we should get some more flanking shots off. And the crossbows really need to fire those shots, or we cannot take the general down. And let's move the peasants here out of the way, so the crossbows can get clear shots. Unfortunately, our comitatenses are starting to take some heavy casualties. Let's bring in the general and his bodyguard to help out a bit. And let's position these Limitane here to help out. So I guess these comitatenses need to start fighting here. And we have another warlord entering. But the first one is actually fleeing. So let's bring in another crossbow unit here. And let's put the peasants here in position. Oh, let's see. One enemy general down. Excellent.
His men know their doom approaches.
And it seems this will be an even harder, as he's supported by another bodyguard. And let's send in the peasants to the front. Okay, I guess they are starting to fight here. So let's actually bring the peasants out of the way, right behind the Pukelary, so they can support the units fighting there. And let's bring in one other unit of comitatenses nearby, just in case. And as you can see, these warlords have taken some casualties already, as they are falling quite a bit faster than the first one. The bad thing here is that we are starting to take quite heavy casualties, so holding this city next time won't be that easy, even though it's not easy at this point either. And as these veterani are charging the Pukelary, I think we need to take them down. And now it's actually critical to take down as many of those enemy generals as possible. Okay, so far so good. Unfortunately, our comitatenses are taking quite heavy casualties, but it seems we are having another enemy warlord offered to us in a platter. So, and he's running. Let's hope we can take him down as well. Yes, we can. Excellent. So now it's only a couple of more infantry units, I guess. And at this pace there won't be much of the enemy army left after the battle. So they have depleted almost all of their strength, even though we have taken some casualties as well. but I don't dare to chase down the remaining enemy units, as we need to conserve our strength here.
The gods be praised. The enemy's hearts
One
are
of the
full
enemy
fear,
armies
now
is
they
fleeing altogether, and the other one shouldn't be that far from breaking.
Yes, Imperator. Yes, Imperator. Legionary cohort. The enemy
And
show
let's
their
try
true
to take
virtue.
down the
They are not
last
soldiers,
remaining
only
enemies
frightened rabbits running from our men.
with the towers. Because 3.5 armies are enough for the enemy, in my opinion. That unit went down completely. We have some heavy infantry here, which seems to be holding up quite well in the arrow fire. Finally starting to take some casualties. And still a couple of more men. And here... Okay. Nice victory. Hopefully we can get a new general, because we could use some mercenaries here, if they are available. And of course, there is a new siege, I guess with 2 armies, or maybe 4, but at least there won't be that many enemy generals available anymore. And it seems, I think we will withdraw against that army. Let's combine our forces before moving forward. And then... Okay, Augusta Trevororum has barracks. Good news, we can retrain those units there. And then... we can push forward in the Africa.
Yes, master. Spying.
So the defenses in Dimidi are quite formidable. I think we need to take care of these 2 armies before they can join forces with the garrison there. But after that, I think it's rather easily taken, the city there. And a shipwright in Caralis will be very beneficial. Carthage, surely I think we will build the academy to increase the public order. And then... okay, the Goths are moving forward. I think our defenses in Ravenna and Mediolanum are in a decent order, at least. Of course, Mediolanum could use some additional troops. And where is our army? Here. So let's bring this fleet to the port here already. And we should have a ship here. This is interesting. Okay. And next turn, the rest of the troops should be able to follow to the port of Samarapriva. Hopefully this attack will not start before our troops have landed. And let's see, Aquincum is doing fine. Salona, of course, the number of troops there is getting a bit low. And let's make a quick check of the settlements. So Massilia is having some problems. Let's well, it's not critical. I think we want to have the taxes it's generating in full. And I think this is everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also turn on the notifications so you will know when a new video emerges. Have a great rest of the day. Quality Old Games out.